subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications.
The Dan Miller Show. Yo, Bills Mafia, it's going on. It's Dan Miller in the home of the real Buffalo Bills. Real talk, no muff, no filters. Today we're going to break down the Bills roster. So, with the Bills roster and everything, so stay tuned and listen to the Dan Miller Show. Alright. Bills roster, as we know, with the quarterbacks and everything, we know who 1 and 2 is going to be. I mean, Kyle Allen could be the backup, which he is going to be, unless Shane Buechele beats him out or anybody else for that position and everything. But Josh Allen, we know. We got Josh Allen. It's going to be great. You know, I was, listening to this YouTube, the Ralph rant. He was talking about the trade that happened, a while ago with, the Rams and Cleveland Browns with Myles Garrett and everything. And to me, that's, crazy that, we didn't want to give up draft capital for that and everything. And that's ridiculous. That is how you win championships. That's how you get to the Super Bowl. The Rams did it and got Von Miller. And then Von Miller was pretty close to winning MVP. Odell Beckham Jr. probably would have won it if he didn't get hurt in that game. But, he's back in with the Giants. And, they went out and got this guy, Myles Garrett. He is the guy you go and risk everything for. Your number ones, your number twos, your number threes, your number fours. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Boom. But we didn't have players to get but they get in return, which is named first or whatever. And he's still on a rookie deal. And he was third on the list. And the two people ahead of him, Myles Garrett at number 2, and Marcus Parsons in Dallas, or Green Bay now, was it Dallas, in Green Bay, and he was number 1. Myles Garrett was number 2, and he was number 3 from Cleveland, and he's young, this, that. They got at least 2, 3 more years with him. And then they can even trade him away and get more assets for him. Draft picks and stuff like that, especially the way he's been playing and everything. First, what's his name, First or whatever? Gurf, whatever. And to get Myles Garrett, we would have probably had to give up Russo and Ed Oliver a first and a third of 2027, and probably a second and a fourth in 2028 to get Myles Garrett. That's a lot. And would they have done that? Maybe. But you're giving up 2 players where they gave up 1 and number 1s and stuff like that. And should we go get Justin Jefferson? Absolutely. You give up assets to give up him. You give up draft capital to get somebody like Justin Jefferson. So I can't agree with somebody that says he didn't want to give up draft capital. It is full of crap. Give up draft capital. They're probably going to, the Bills will get there this year. That's my goal, and that's my prediction right now. The Buffalo Bills versus the Los Angeles Rams in the Super Bowl at SoFi Stadium. Rams would be home again. It's their stadium, this and that, And we'll be there in week 5 when we play them. So it's going to be Super Bowl showdown. 2 great quarterbacks, 2 great coaches. Well, Joe Brady, we still don't know. But 2 great coaches anyways. And all that and everything. Excuse me. And the Buffalo Bills will do that. You know, we got James Cook, Ty Johnson, Ray Davis. You know, we got DJ Moore, Shakir, Coleman, Palmer, Bell, Hartman. You know, these guys that we need on the roster, and you know, we can get like Justin Jefferson. You never know. We can still get him. Hell, people are leaking, you know, stuff on Diggs, and I don't want Diggs on my team. We've been there, done that. You know, so everybody's like, "Oh my God, we're gonna try to get Seven Duggan." Dude, Deion Dawkins and Diggs, all this, you know, Bills uniform, this and that. We got Terrell Shavers who got injured. We could still, you know, who knows if he'll be on the roster or not. If he'll come back for whatever. You know, I'd rather have Brandon Cooks back on the roster over Diggs right now. And, you know, DJ Moore is your number one. Khalil Shakir is your number two. Question is, who's going to be number three? Is it going to be Palmer? Is it going to be Keon Coleman, Skylar Bell, Miko Hardman Jr.? You know, I see him more as a special teams guy. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 guys here. You know, are they going to keep all 6 guys? Plus, you know, Bill signed, you know, what's that wide receiver? Tompkins, Denver Tompkins, Max Hopkins. You know, they waived Dorian Strong, but with the injury thing, so he'll probably be out for the rest of the year. Either because of his neck or lower body injury. We don't know. We saw crutches. That was reported. We don't know. Full extended it. They did release the running back, Jashawn Reed, and wide receiver Gabriel Benyard. So they got Tompkins, Max Thompson, Development Tompkins, 2 guys that the Bills signed wide receivers wise anyways. But you know, it's to help out. So, you know, technically we got 8 wide receivers. Probably how many going to keep? They're going to go 5. They're going to go 6, you know, for the Buffalo Bills and what they're going to do with that. And we'll have to wait and see what happens with that for that. So, you know, for the Buffalo Bills to do that. And I hope that they can do that. We'll see Coleman. He's looking great right now. But he did that last year, did great in week 1, and then he just disappeared, and we never saw him. Could he make the roster? I don't. You know, he's got a lot to prove, so we'll see when it comes to week 1 if he makes the roster. You know, get Skylar Bell make the roster, or at least you got to do special teams. You know, if you're going to keep like 5 or 6 guys, you know, because we also got. You know, if you go 4 wide receivers, DJ Moore, Shakir, Coleman, Palmer, right now. Palmer, he might even get caught and save, 2 point whatever, hit of a salary cap of 9 something. You know, if we wait till next year, it'll be better. But then again, who knows what they want to do? Hell, you could cut Palmer, save $2.5 million, and get Brandon Cooks back here. Honestly, I'd rather have Brandon Cooks than Joshua Palmer right now. But Palmer is still hurt in, you know, his injury and everything, so we don't know what's going on with that and everything. Like, Ray Davis wants to be more involved. Like, what do you want? I mean, got Ty Johnson, you know, he was going to get, you know, some touches, especially at 3rd downs, and, you know, he's going to run the ball, he's going to catch it out in the backfield. Cook is probably going to do that more than Ty Johnson maybe this year. You know, I think last year he had touched the ball. James Cook touched the ball at least 350-something times. So we're going to have, like, what are we talking about, 275 to 325 touching the ball between receiving and running the ball and everything. You know, DJ Moore, he's going to obviously be out there. He's going to be that guy. Shakir probably be the next guy. Or Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox. We got Hawes, who depending on how they're going to use these blocking tight ends, the 11, 12, 13 personnels and stuff like that they're going to do, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. We got Dawkins, Brown, Governor, Torrance, Cushenberry, Jackson Eager, he got hurt. I don't know what's going on with that. It's the fullback. Vincent Moore is the other fullback, so we'll have to wait and see what they want to do with the fullbacks. Do they even keep a fullback? They use like a tight end is more like a fullback, like Hawes and stuff, or Knox and himself. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that and everything. But there's the left tackle battle, so it's going to be interesting when camp does start in July 29th. I know it's a long ways, like 6 weeks away, man. Whew. But we're really wrapping. I mean, hell, last day of mini camp, everybody showed up. No question marks, no nothing, everything, which is great. Everybody showed up. They might not participate because of injuries, or just need to recover, so like that. But there's probably the injuries, like Dorian Strong, he would be on PUP and stuff like that. Skylar Bell, he practiced, the first day, did practice the second day, but he was out there catching balls and everything, so we don't know what the injury is. We're not going to probably know until 6 weeks from now, until July. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that and everything. But for the Buffalo Bills, it's, that's the way we got to do it and everything. So for, defense, you got the Chubb, Bradley Chubb, Rousseau, T.J. Parker, Ed Oliver, Carter, Sanders, T.J. Sanders, you got Benford, Williams, Julian Dreesen, Kayla Elam Orr, who I'm very interested. D. Williams, I'm interested as well. As linebackers and edge rushers, the defensive line, how that's going to work and everything for the Buffalo Bills. And I think that's going to be great for them as well. So what would be interesting, Cole Bishop, he has not participated in OTAs or mandatory minicamp. He's been there. He might be injured again. I think he is, and what that looks like, we'll see what happens. But that's what happened last year, and he was really getting it on. He's our guy, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, they asked him because he got beat. Players voted as Josh Allen is the best trash talker, the best, I guess. And C.J. Gardner-Johnson is like Josh Allen. He's like, he beat me, And then they were trash talking, at mandatory minicamp, and he was close. He knocked the ball down twice and picked him off. I think twice. It was like out of 5 plays, he knocked the ball 2 out of those 5 plays. He did get an interception. I think he got 2, and then stuff like that. So it's good that they're going at it like this. So it's going to be very good. It keeps them competitive. Fight for that position. Fight, for your job and this and that to make the roster. We got the 90. I think we got 91 roster. The one guy, he's on his last year. I forgot his name. It slipped my mind. Sorry. But he went from offense to defense now. They're going to try him out there to see what happens and everything. So it's going to be interesting. We also got Stone as, free safety, strong safety. We'll see what happens. You got the corners, Elford, Harrison, and Benford. Harrison will be a little interesting. We'll see. The special teams is going to be interesting because we have yet to see Tyler Bass kick. for the Buffalo Bills and everything. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. And they got two punters, Wisnowski and the guy the Bills drafted, Tommy Newman Jr. He was drafted out of Florida in the 2006 NFL draft. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that and everything. So, please hit and subscribe to this channel, rate and review. If you want to make a comment, if there's something you want me to talk about even more that I didn't, I could do that in the upcoming episode. So please hit and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.